Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar hosted by CauseVox. This is the Giving Tuesday Throwdown and Live Critique. Welcome. My name is Jenna Notar-Francesco. I am an account executive at CauseVox, and I am thrilled to be able to share with you some of our best practices for Giving Tuesday, which, by the way, is coming up shortly on November 29th, so just a couple weeks away. And then we also have an opportunity today to do a live critique of your own Giving Tuesday pages. So they could be donation forms or campaign sites. And I am going to paste in the chat where you can submit your live critique today. So before we get started, again, I'm just going to share a little bit of housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded, so you don't have to worry about taking tons of notes or anything. You will get the slide deck as well as all of the links that we share and the resources, and you'll have the video recording as well. So I'm super excited to have you here today. Again, my name is Jenna Notar-Francesco. I am with CauseVox, and we are a digital fundraising platform designed to help you raise more with less effort. So while we wait for more people to join, I would just invite you to chat us in what your name, where you're from, and maybe one thing you're looking to learn today at our Giving Tuesday Throwdown webinar. So again, if you have a chance, definitely chat us in. We'd love to hear from you. Hello to Stephanie in Cincinnati, Ohio. Looking to learn some cool, unusual tips. Hopefully we have those for you today. Tiffany, hello, Tiffany with the Ignite Foundation in Houston, Texas. Awesome. So our co-founder is going to join later today, and he's also in Houston. So, or no, he's in Austin. Sorry, but both Texas folks. San Antonio, Texas. JC, hi. And Mark DeStassi, hello, everyone. Yes, hello from New Life International in Indiana. Hi, Amy from Cleveland, Ohio. Another Ohio person. Hello, hello. Hoping to learn how to catch the attention of donors who are receiving a lot of requests for donations. That's honestly a great question to ask. Yeah, we can definitely go over how to stand out on Giving Tuesday. Hello to Jeremy in San Diego and Sherry in Boston. Hi to Kristen with the Hand to Heart Project in New Hampshire. Awesome. By the way, again, my name is Jenna Notar-Francesco. I am currently located in New York City, Queens. So yeah, I don't know what it's like now. It's just getting colder in general, but things are good here. Hope you're all doing well for your afternoon, and I'll dive into today's webinar. So again, my name is Jenna Notar-Francesco. I'm an account executive at CauseVox, and we will later be joined by Rob Wu, the CEO and co-founder of CauseVox. And so if you're new to CauseVox, I will just mention that we will help you make your Giving Tuesday fundraising a lot easier. We do that by offering the best-in-class fundraising solutions for your donation forms, mobile payments, campaigns, tickets, and peer-to-peer. And pretty much you can run all of those things all in one place, making it really easy for both you and your donors and participants. On top of that, we offer hands-on support and onboarding in the form of one-on-one support for all of our users, and we connect you with real people, not robots, which is always beneficial when you're trying to solve or just go through your settings. We can do that with you. And also with top-rated fundraising education, we do that in the form of guides, templates, and webinars like this one. We also have a few online courses that are available on our Learn section on our website. And I will post in or chat in a link at the end of our webinar with all of these resources, the links to these resources, and of course, you'll have them in your email follow-up. But again, we help you raise more with less time and effort. So we replace all the clunky, complex fundraising software that's out there, and we tidy up all of your digital fundraising for your donation forms and pages with pledges, crowdfunding, event ticketing, and peer-to-peer. So we will be highlighting a couple of these components today, especially modernized donations, as we know that donations are going online these days. That's the trend, is for online donations. You want to make those as easy as possible for a donor to process. So we make that possible through mobile payments with Apple and Google Pay and PayPal button. With one-time and recurring donations and pledges, you will have the ability to customize your automated receipting and have a way to customize your branding and cover the fees all in one place. Something that we won't really focus on today, but that's ticketing. You can sell tickets and fundraise all at the same time on CauseVox, a way for you to, again, push users to one location, a really easy and nice way to streamline your efforts there. And included with that is hands-free peer-to-peer, which will be a topic that we discuss today as well. This is perfect for pretty much any campaign you can think of, whether it's in person, virtual, or a hybrid combination. Peer-to-peer fundraising is really a key to doubling your funding, and this is really simple on CauseVox. We do a hands-free model, which basically means we allow you to set up a lot of the default information for your fundraisers in the back end so that they have a seamless sign-up process and a really easy way to fundraise throughout the campaign. So if you'd like to know more about how CauseVox can be tailored to your organization specifically, we would invite you to schedule a demo, whether it's on demand or a live demo with us. And you can do that at causevox.com/schedule-a-demo. And we'd be happy to chat with you through some options there. Also, in addition, I referred to this earlier with our fundraising tips. We have free fundraising tips that we send out weekly. And this is a very robust resource that's been cultivated over, I believe, the last 12 or so years. So you'll want to take advantage of all of the leaders' resources on our blog. So today we are going to first dive into some best practices from already successful Giving Tuesday campaigns. These are best practices that we've gleaned from our organization leaders who have used CauseVox for Giving Tuesday and were very successful. And then we will dive into that live critique. So let me paste in that chat a way for you to submit your own Giving Tuesday page. And I believe this is going to be the form that you can use. If you have any questions with that, feel free to chat it in, but you should be able to submit your Giving Tuesday page with your URL through that, and then I will try to share as many as we can during the live critique. Okay, so let's jump into best practices of high-performing Giving Tuesday campaigns. Number one, set a goal. This is going to be a monetary goal. You can also set goals and share how the donor is making an impact with, how their funds are going to be used towards making change within your community. But you want to set those goals. You can set goals not only monetary, but also, how many fundraisers you want to activate. We have some resources on the types of goals you might want to set. This one's really focused on your monetary goal so that people can be updated on the progress of your campaign and to see how their donation is moving the needle. Of those who donate, 68% agree that knowing how their donation makes an impact is important to their gift. So not only, how their funds are being used, of course, they want to know how their funds are being used. That's part of it. And also to see how their contribution is making a difference in your overall goal. So it shows donors how their donation moves the needle and allows donors to celebrate when your goal is reached. basically they see that they're a part of something bigger than themselves. They're a part of this movement, this mission, this monetary funding goal that you're trying to achieve. And it really just allows your organization to drive donor urgency and participation. So this is number one. You want to show that thermometer, that progress bar as live donations are being made, then people can see in actuality, like in real time, how they're making change. Number two, you want to engage a wide audience. You don't want to, narrow anything by age or gender or group, or you take away any of those thoughts that, oh, well, our mission is only applicable to this group of people. We would encourage you to cast a wide net, because honestly, donating is something that's applicable and possible for all people. Right? We want to be very inclusive with who we invite to make a change in our community and our, society at large here. And Giving Tuesday is a really great way to do that because it's so well known across the US. And since it's online, since you would be theoretically pushing donations online, it makes it easy for people everywhere to process a donation. So you want to include all groups, whether it's your staff, board, volunteers, members of their networks. Feel free to, again, cast a wide net for then more people to participate and support your mission. Because while you engage a diverse audience, you can potentially convert more donors, right? It's almost like a numbers game as well. The more people you reach out to, the more people it might really resonate with your mission and your vision and your goals for this year. Number three, this leads us to number three, which is to use peer-to-peer fundraising as a strategy for donations this year. For those of you who are not familiar with peer-to-peer fundraising is an advanced level of crowdfunding. So whereas crowdfunding, you have a campaign, people can share it across social media or email, and people can make a donation. This advances that a little more to place some responsibility on key people who you would like to activate as fundraisers. Right. So now there is an expectation that these specific individuals will sign up to be a part of your campaign and make a personal ask to their friends and family and their network. Now, this way is how we've seen organizations more than double their funding goal, because as you can imagine, you're able to exponentially increase the amount of donors that you can reach by the number of fundraisers that you activate. So the reason why it's a benefit for your donors is it gives your community a tangible way to participate in Giving Tuesday and tell their own stories. You're giving them a platform. You're giving them a way to not only share the campaign and ask for donations, but share the campaign. They have a page integrated within that campaign, and they can type up their own story. They can add video, graphics, really share and express why and how your organization has impacted them already. So it's really based on, it's like a testimonial type of strategy. People can hear, right? Like the best form of marketing is storytelling. So this is one way that you can get more stories about your organization out there, out into the networks, various networks. Again, so the reason why this is a benefit to your organization is you get to reach new networks of donors you might have never seen possible before. One pro tip is if you're going to implement peer-to-peer fundraising, we would encourage you to create a peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit, which will empower your fundraisers. Since your fundraisers will now be your marketers, essentially, not everybody who signs up as a volunteer, volunteer fundraiser, right? They're doing this on, their own time. They might not be skilled or, educated in how to go out and ask for money from their friends and family. So this toolkit would be comprised of an expectation that you have of them as them being a fundraiser, any expectations of their monetary goal, like the expectation that they should be, the amount of funds that they should be fundraising. And then a communication schedule and some samples. So you want to definitely give them the sample email, sample social media post. Maybe you want to give them a couple, like, oh, here's email 1, 2, and 3, and you can send email 1 on such and such date or such, or, so and so week. So give them the actual template, and then give them the frequency or the days on which you want them to actually share that information out with their networks. You can also include elements like graphics that can be included in their emails or on their social media. And so we have a free resource here. It actually comes with some sample downloads. So past examples that our organizations have used, the ones that they've created, this will be available on the download. You just have to input your name and email, and then you'll get like 10 examples. Number 4, craft a strong appeal. This goes back to that storytelling element where stories are huge motivators for people, because it touches emotions, right? You want to tug on the heartstrings. You want to really make it clear how and why your organization is making an impact and why people should be a part of that. So again, donors, the benefit to the donor is that they're then able to connect with the people they're helping. It becomes less of a statistic on a page and more of, they get to see the real person or the real group of people that they're benefiting and how they're helping them. And you as the organization, your job and your benefit there is that you're fostering empathy, which is the main inspiration to activate giving, right? So why should I give you my money? Why should any donor give you their money? Who is being helped? How are they being helped? What have you already done to help your community? You can basically craft your appeal very easily on CauseVox. We give a blanket, open template. You can add video, graphics. There are so many ways that you can creatively tell your story and provide those testimonials. It doesn't always have to be with text quotes. You could do quick iPhone videos, some information that your past either volunteers or past donors, past fundraisers, anyone who's really connected to your organization can spin up a testimonial video. Maybe it's one of the leaders from your organization making an appeal to your community. But you want to talk about your credibility and also the impact that you're making. Number 5, update your donation form. This one I briefly touched on when I talked about mobile payments, and I do want to focus on that this time, but there are several elements to an updated modern donation form that you want to look for. So if your donation form doesn't have any of these components, I would suggest considering, if it's worth it to you and your organization to upgrade your donation form, because this is, your bread and butter, right? This is for some organizations, if most of your donations are online, especially since we see a trend in online donating, you want to make it as versatile and as easy for your donor as possible. So here are some top best practices for a high-performing donation form. You want it to be very visible. That would be, put it right up front at the top of your organization's or website. Make the button very clear. Make it pop. Make it branded. Make sure it's embedded on, when we say branded, either making sure that the color scheme is along with your brand, the font, or even so, just making it right embedded on your page so that there's no redirect away from your website. We would encourage you to use descriptive tiers. This goes in line with the storytelling impact component, because you can essentially add impact to the donation value specifically. Oh, what does my $30 do? You can put a line of description to say, oh, $30 will, feed one family for a year, for example, or whatever the number is. Offering different types of donations is also important, because it gives your donors some flexibility and some yeah, just versatility over the type of donation they might want to process. Recurring donors and recurring donations are, very important to, the lifeblood of an organization, and they are better retained than a one-time donor. So if you can encourage monthly recurring donations or pledges, which on CauseVox can be customized for monthly or yearly up to 5 years. So if you can incorporate some varying donation types, that's also helpful. And then finally, mobile wallets, the one that I'm sort of focused on today, but they're all very important. Mobile wallets basically give your donor a way to process a faster transaction. So making sure it's mobile friendly, first of all, and then that you have Apple Pay, Google Pay, the PayPal button option. CauseVox is actually implementing ACH payments and Venmo. Venmo probably the next year, but ACH within the next month. But you want to give as many payment options as possible. And now we have this donation page throwdown that Rob actually led, I think it was last month. And so I just linked the on-demand version if you wanted to get a more in-depth look at donation form optimization. That's a really great resource. So again, with mobile payments specifically, and so that they don't have to pull out their credit card and type it in manually, 50% of estimated growth in mobile payments from 2020 to 2025. That's the estimate up to 2025, and we see a growing trend that way. Again, it looks something like this. There's like a little automated button there, the GPay button, or it will be the Apple Pay button, and that'll default based on browser. But you want to, again, make a quick and easy payment for your donor. Shasa says, I recommend making your donation page user-friendly with mobile capabilities. Of course, everybody's on their phone, right? So you want to make donations as easy as possible as well, because basically the major benefit for your organization is more donations, right? You're going to convert more donors if you remove all barriers and limitations to your donation form. Number 6, get a matching gift if possible. Now, matching gifts are great. You can ask or look for a matching gift in different places. It could be your board, it could be a past donor, sponsoring orgs. But this is one way to stand out on Giving Tuesday, because not too many organizations do get matching gifts. Some do. But it's great because matching gifts and fundraising appeals can increase the response rate by 70%. And this goes back to that goal setting mentality. When you see a monetary goal, like a number that you have to reach, the doubling of that is very incentivizing, because now you're doubling your donor's dollar. So now their $1 is actually worth $2, and etc. And when you have a larger sum of money, like $250, and that gets doubled, that's a huge impact, right? So again, we saw that matching gifts had resulted in a 51% increase in the average donation amount, right? Because it just exponentially increases because it gets doubled. So everybody wants a higher value on their dollar, and this is a way for your organization to do that for your donors. Again, this just reiterates your donor dollars are doubled, so you're increasing the value of their dollar, and this will help you stand out on Giving Tuesday, because I don't know how widespread it is, but it's definitely a way to do something different. Number 7, and this is our last best practice before we dive into some live examples. You want to continue the campaign after Giving Tuesday. So some organizations make the mistake of, saying, oh, that's it, like our Giving Tuesday is over, on to the next year. But if you think about it, Giving Tuesday is a great segue into year-end fundraising. So we would encourage you to strategize a Giving Tuesday value goal, maybe it's 5,000 for Giving Tuesday, and then your larger year-end goal, maybe it's 30,000. But make them, maybe you want to, determine your year-end first, determine your year-end goal first, and then maybe allocate a portion of that for your Giving Tuesday number. So your campaign can effectively look like your Giving Tuesday number at first, and then the day after Giving Tuesday, you can just tweak your campaign values so that your new goal is your larger year-end sum. And now you already have $5,000 towards your larger 30,000 goal. So it's more of a springboard into your year-end campaigning. And this is nice. I mean, there's like different ways you can go about doing it. Again, it would just be a matter of tailoring the content on your campaign if you're using a website landing page. But you can, discuss Giving Tuesday, and in your communication, you can say, hey, this is going to be going towards our larger year-end goal. Stay with us throughout year end, stay with us and journey with us on that. And then I think donors will be more inclined to stay with you on your larger year-end journey if they've already participated in half of it. So they're probably going to want to stay with you for the second half, and maybe they're more inclined to give again or share your campaign out to others to have them, contribute to the year-end goal. So yeah, again, use it as a launch pad for your larger year-end fundraising campaign. I think it's a great technique, and again, it incentivizes donors towards year end because they already see how far you've come, right? You already have some money towards the pot of your year end goal, and that is incentivizing as well. Okay, we are at the live critique component part of our webinar today. Let's see, I think I got a couple more responses. So just give me a moment here. I want to queue these up. And yeah, feel free to add any questions you may have had to the chat. Sorry, I'm just trying to manipulate this really quick. So I'm just going to stop sharing and then reshare my screen. And maybe. Here we go. We'll just go ahead with this for now. And I think I had some more, but we're going to start with these, and then I'm going to grab the few more that submitted. Okay, so we have Santa Barbara Dance Institute. All right. This is great. So I think, just from like a visual, I don't know if this is your organization's coloring, just on an aesthetic note, you could make the background of this header white so that it matches the background of your logo. And yeah, again, if these are your brand colors, that's great, that's fine. But again, yeah, contrasting colors is always nice. A nice highlight for your donate button. We do have an impact metric on CauseVox. This is actually a CauseVox example. So if you wanted, you could use our impact metric. If you can quantify goods or services, it would show up right under or right above your end date value here, 17 days remaining. And you would be able to show, how much of, X is able to be raised based on the number of funds. And that's just a thing in your settings, but this is great. I love that you have your goal here with your progress bar, and you have your end date, days remaining, so they know how much is left to go. So let's take a look at your donation form. Awesome. So we've got one-time gifts, and each one has a description, which is amazing. We love that. We have recurring gift, again, with the sponsorship levels here. Yeah, so it looks like you could, put an impact metric saying like how many children you've sponsored, or, I guess you'd want to pick one maybe, and you can put that in your impact metric. The other thing is that it looks like the coloring here on this donation form is different than the color, like this accent color is different than the colors of your campaign page. So you might just want to check on the hex colors and make it a little bit more more continuity between your coloring. And then, yeah, for pledge, it looks like you don't have any donation tiers here. Just an FYI, you could add some, sort of like the way you did with your one-time and recurring gift. Let's see. Join the movement. Just reading through this real quick. So this is nice. I like how, you've talked about what the donation will do. I'm wondering, what it will do in terms of your classes, to fund and support additional teachers and assistants. I wonder if you could put any sort of personal element to this, sort of like, again, as I had mentioned, maybe like some testimonials or some visual representation of the impact that your organization makes and how you, what the funds do for your organization. It looks like you have a quick behind the curtain of SBD, which is nice. Yeah, so I think this is great. You have your Giving Tuesday over here. I think I would just want to see more like a more personal aspect if you can add it, or any sort of like, if you can quantify how you've made change in the past and what you're looking to do in the future. Maybe just, highlight it a little bit. Are you doing peer-to-peer? If you're able to do peer-to-peer fundraising, that's always encouraged. So if you can, maybe you want to invite your teachers, your dance teachers, to maybe open a page. That could be a nice strategy that you can implement on this particular campaign for the final push, right? Yeah, so these are just some examples. You can also change this URL to something shorter if you needed it. Our next example is from the Ignite Foundation. We have the Giving Tuesday logo here, which is great. Together we can make a bigger impact. Join us for Giving Tuesday. I'm just taking a look here. Okay, great. So I'm just going to take a look at the donation button. I like how, we have a nice slogan here. We make a bigger impact. The donate button is pretty prominent, both at the top and at the bottom, which is nice. I'm not familiar with, I'm not sure if this is your organization's website or if this is a landing page on another platform. The only thing I would say is that it looks like the donation form could be optimized. It looks like there's only the opportunity for a one-time gift, and there's no way to tell how my $10 or my $100 is being used. I think I would like to see, the type of impact I'm making as a donor right on the donation form. And then, yeah, you might just want to check. I'm not sure if this is going to offer a mobile wallet like Google Pay, Apple Pay, but you might just want to check on that. But overall, I think this is nice. I like the inclusion of the Giving Tuesday logo along with yours. And the appeal, as always, I would gear towards storytelling in the aspect of testimony and people, because people move people. It's all about people. So if you can incorporate that type of element, but it's good that you have represented the way that you make an impact here at the bottom. Okay, we have Kids Co. Giving Tuesday, something is building at Kids Co. I like that little slogan or like little statement there, something's building at Kids Co, because it's like, oh, like donors are all building towards something too. And, what are we building towards? I like that. Donate button is very prominent, very good. You have a $5,000 match. That's also prominent, very good. This graphic is great. Sorry, I'm just reading through this a little bit. Okay, so What is high quality childcare? Okay. Yeah, so I think maybe if you can give an example of how your high quality childcare is actually played out day to day. Again, we want to see really what is happening behind the scenes and not just kind of like a general statement. If you could give maybe one example, it could be a text, it can be a graphic, it could be somebody's quote. Please add that personal element. That's something that I would say. The donation form, yeah, also make that impact visible on your tiers. That's something that I would say as well. And if you can, I'm not sure if this is Give Butter. Yeah, I'm not sure what if they offer peer-to-peer or if they offer the mobile wallets, but those are two other elements that I would say you could add to this campaign. I want to pull out the other responses because I still haven't pulled them out yet. Just give me 2 minutes here. But yeah, feel free to chat in as you're watching if you have any questions. And again, we're going to get to the questions all at the end. I'm not sure. Oh, here it goes. I think. My screen is getting in the way. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Oh, here they are. Better. Okay. I think I have most of them. I think I'm missing 2, but let me keep going, and then once Rob gets on, I'll see if I can share an additional 2. In the meantime, I'm going to continue with a couple of the successful campaigns we've seen on CauseVox. So we have Bridges to Success, which is a Giving Tuesday campaign from last year. I'm pretty sure they did the whole technique of, oh, like we will continue. Actually, no, I think this one was actually just they wanted 40,000 for their Giving Tuesday campaign. But of course, you could continue it to year end. So in that example I gave, so say this is like your Giving Tuesday goal at first, it's 40,000, and then your year end goal is like 150,000. So you could see, if you transition the campaign to your $150,000 goal, you've already got 39.7 in the running already. So you're starting with something. So the progress bar will, it'll be extended here. But it's a better visual, right? And it encourages more participation because you're closer to your year-end goal. But I like their graphics that they added. I like the fact that they have a double the impact option. So this is like one of the examples that I liked because there was a little bit of a storytelling element here. And they did like a fictional narrative too with this one, but you can use real life examples if you have permission from your supporters. But here you see like, oh, a young woman turned 18, she blew out the candles. Like they're like painting a picture of this woman who, she walks out of her door and gets shielded from the wind and rain, and she's shielded by this Bridges to Success organization. But if you can talk about somebody's experience with you and your organization, of course, that leads to more empathy, like I had mentioned earlier. So we also have some visual graphics here, any way to really engage your potential donors, right? Tell a story. Use live examples if you're able to, use numbers and statistics if you're able to. This one also was talking about working in the midst of a pandemic. You might want to talk about that, how you're coming out of the pandemic, really anything that can encourage somebody to donate? What is the reason? Why should they? How are you changing lives? Right? They've got their Giving Tuesday logo over here, and then the doubling gift. And then Fiverr, lastly, Fiverr has a really great campaign every year. They do implement peer-to-peer fundraising on CauseVox. Their donation form does have the descriptive tiers to tie the donation right to impact. But I really liked this one. They have like this catchphrase here, give to the future of Fiverr. And then who is the future of Fiverr? Of course, it's our children. So the graphic is right in line with their appeal. A little bit about Fiverr on the side. And then they did link out to another URL on text, which is just, I think it's just a little bit about their work and how they sustain their programming. But yeah, they also talked about the impact and how they're going to be using the funds. Consider making an investment. So again, you can work with your team if you have one, or just work on by yourself a way to tweak the language to make it more compelling. Right? Everything, it's about being clear, compelling, and just convenient for your donor. If you want to go with those 3 C's. It should be clear, compelling, and convenient. Like, it should be easy. Everything should be very upfront and easy for your donor. Great. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to reshare my slide deck. I think we're over a little early here. Let me take a look at our questions. I gotta move. Oh, here are just some additional resources, the ones I listed, and this will be sent in a follow-up email. If you would like to schedule a demo with me, feel free to do that. We can talk. We can talk about how CauseVox could help you spin up a campaign for Giving Tuesday. Maybe you're in a situation where, you don't even have one to enhance. You just need something quickly to get up and running in the next 2 weeks. That's something that we can definitely help you to do. And we have very flexible, economical fundraising and plans. So definitely check us out. And so now I do want to move over to the question pane. And I believe Rob has joined us. Hello, welcome, Rob. We've had a great time so far, and I think we have some good questions. So I don't know if you want me to start them off for you, Rob. Cicely asks, is there an option to have a live goal thermometer for fundraiser that will allow a guest to make a donation live and their names appear on the screen live? That's a good question. Yeah, so I will just say, like, with CauseVox, we do have that capability. As donations are received through the CauseVox donation form, if that's attached to a fundraising site like the ones I showed you, the goal thermometer will automatically increase in real time. And we do have a donor wall at the bottom, and so the donor will be able to see their name live on the screen. Let's see. Okay, so Kelly's asking, when we add a digital wallet to our campaign, are we able to procure donor information such as name, address, and email using when donor uses Venmo, Apple Pay, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. So with the CauseVox donation form, at least, we capture all the donor information that you want to specify. At the very least, you'll get the first name, last name, email address of a donor. And then you can also plug in a postal address field. So you get the mailing address for that donor, even if they're using Apple Pay or PayPal or Google Pay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's see, a peer-to-peer toolkit setup. How realistic would it be for us to set that up in a week for Giving Tuesday? So Mark's asking that. I have a few donors from the past that have been good fundraisers on Facebook, would like to move as much as possible through CauseVox. Okay, so yeah, Rob, do you think, like, how realistic would it be to set up a peer-to-peer toolkit in 1 week and invite people?
Anything can happen. if you will it. So a week is a long time, but also there's must be a lot of stuff we're working with at the same time. But the great thing is you don't have to start from scratch. We do have toolkits and templates. I think we have two resources. One is a peer-to-peer toolkit, kind of just this library of other organizations' peer-to-peer toolkits that we've gathered. They submitted to us, and then we have it in this Dropbox folder, I believe, where you can just take inspiration from those and then just copy and paste. And the second thing is, I believe we do have a peer-to-peer fundraising template that you can use. So I believe it's a Google Doc where you can kind of just have a format already, and then you can swap out some content to make it your own. If I were running a peer-to-peer, just kind of just average, I think it'll probably take me around 8 hours, maybe 10 hours worth of time from start to finish to create a peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit if I was working alone. So if that's something that you have enough time for this week, then I think that is possible. It is an investment in time, but it will pay off by the reduction of questions that your peer-to-peer fundraisers would ask you, but also would increase results because then they'll be more equipped and more successful as they do their peer-to-peer fundraising.
Yeah, thanks for that insight, Rob. JC asked, what goes into choosing a tagline? I showed a couple like campaign examples that had some nice little like slogans attached to it. For example, Fiverr's like, oh, give to the future of Fiverr, which the future is the kids. Some other things like build with us for organizations that are like using building blocks with little kids at daycares. So what goes into choosing a tagline?
This one is a hard one. So you want to think about a few things when creating a tagline. First one has to be relevant to your organization. So it has to be something that's relatable, where possibly you've used a certain phrase or a certain theme before in your communications, either as part of your project or programs or part of your fundraising, something that really ties to your cause. So that's the first thing to take a look at. I would start by looking at all the content that I've created this year in my social posts, in my email newsletters, in my communications, in my events. What are some of the common themes that have been really drawn out, and what have people really responded to? And then just kind of scanning that to see if there's something that's a little bit catchy as part of a potential tagline, and then shortlisting that and kind of going over that as a starting point to look at maybe something you can adopt for your year-end fundraising. The second thing you want to do is, after you have that short list, you'll want to just do a quick Google search to see if other organizations, or whether they're for-profit or nonprofit, are using something similar. If someone is, then you may not want to use that, because then it'll kind of using somebody else's idea. If no one else is using it, which is very likely no one is going to be using your communications, then you can adopt that as part of your communications plan.
Awesome. Great. I think we've answered all of the questions. If anybody has more, we are ending early here. So yeah, I don't know, Rob, did you want to add anything else to the webinar?
No, I think this is great. Well, I think what if someone wants to have any last minute questions right before Giving Tuesday? What's the best route for folks to get some of those answered?
Yeah, of course. You can always email us at support@causevox.com if you have questions. If something comes up last minute, feel free to email us. I'm just going to post in the chat here before we go here. Oh, actually, we have another question from Tiffany. Any recommendations for running your first campaign?
Keep it simple. I think folks tend to overthink and overplan and overcomplicate their first campaign. And because of that, it just becomes a whole ton of work. So if you're looking into a campaign, keep it simple. For example, if you're saying, oh, I want to do peer-to-peer fundraising as part of my first campaign, I think that's great. But you may not want to think about, oh, I want to have a registration fee, or I want to have both teams and individual pages. Keep it simple. Just have a campaign site, have individual pages, recruit a handful of folks to really seed your campaign and get excited about that, and then just launch it. So my biggest recommendations is just keeping things as simple as possible for your own sanity, as well as to make communications and messaging of the campaign more straightforward for your audience when there's less steps involved.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think I mentioned earlier, you can subscribe to our free resources. I never posted it in the chat, so I'm just going to send that here now. You can subscribe on our blog. If you're interested in taking a closer look at CauseVox and how we can help your organization specifically get up and running for Giving Tuesday quickly, just book a demo with us. We have an on-demand demo, and we also have an opportunity to meet live and virtually here. And then if you have any other questions, as I had mentioned, feel free to email us at support@causevox.com. And again, all the information will be sent to you, I think, this week, right, Rob?
Yep. We'll send it by end of today or tomorrow.
Awesome. Okay, well, I hope you all have happy fundraising this week and for Giving Tuesday, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care, guys.